And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another live Q&A here on the Film Stock channel. Apologies for being a few minutes late. It always ends up happening. I feel like I'm, trying to hit a buzzer beater or something. It just happens. But we're live. We'll do it live, as they say. Welcome in on this Wednesday, September 3rd, 6:04 p.m. Eastern. Here I am. Let's run it. Let's have a good stream. Hope everyone's doing well. I hope you had a good Labor Day. We're officially in the Burr months. To me, we're in the most wonderful time of the year. Without question, actually. I feel like getting through August is always a struggle. It always has been for me. That dates back to middle school, high school, college, like going back to school, I've never enjoyed. And of course, I'm not in school anymore. But it's just that month of transition from like the summer, even now, like right this summer, blockbuster season, to just this sort of doldrums month where it almost feels like a wasteland. It's like limbo and Inception. Anyway, though, we're out of it now, and I'm very glad of that. But hope you're all doing well. Welcome in. I need to put one thing in my Instagram story really quickly to let everyone know that I am live. Let me pin this message real quick. Boom. But if you're in here now, of course, hit that like button. Helps out tremendously. Thank you guys for being here, whether you're live or on the replay. Subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, Super Chat is the way to go to guarantee I get directly to your question, comment, concern. It's a huge way to help support the channel. Let me post this very quickly. Shouldn't take too long, and then we'll rock it. So fire off your questions now, whether it's movies, Wednesday Season 2 Part 2, Stranger Things, Superman, whatever it may be. Lots of movie news coming out in the past few days. Lots to discuss, so I'm excited to get down to it. All right, let me do this real quick. Join here. Boom, boom, boom. Almost done. All right, live on YouTube now. Come join. This is a little behind the scenes for you all. My POV when I post on Instagram. Boop. All right. That is hopefully working. If it didn't work. Did it work? Hold on. Looks like it didn't work. What are we doing? What? All right. Hold on. We've got some technical difficulties out the gate. Let me do this really quick. Let's try this again. One sec. Let's paste the link. Type this out, and then we'll be able to get to the questions. Okay, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Live now. Come join. Hopefully it works this time. Will it work this time? It did not work. So I guess Instagram's just not my friend. That's fine. It's all good. We got water. That's not the only thing. I have a new soda debuting. Tried it earlier today. Phenomenal. It's not just your average Sprite Zero. It's your Sprite Zero Chill Cherry Lime. Let's open it up. It's delicious. Oh, yeah. Tastes like, if you guys have a Sonic around you, if you get like a diet cherry limeade from there, that's exactly what it tastes like. Phenomenal stuff, really. But welcome in, everybody. Apologies for the delay in the questions. I see we already have 2 super chats. I'll get to those right here in a second. I just wanted to say, Debbie, welcome in. Chuck, welcome in. Well, happy early birthday, Chuck. Matt, how's it going? Wednesday was crazy. Also, screw Slurp. Yeah, I won't spoil it, but his identity's revealed in this back half of the season. Pretty wild what actually happened with him back in the day. And I don't want to say too much, but yeah. All right, I'll get into this mild spoiler warning for Wednesday. This is from Elizabeth. It says, spoilers, thoughts on all the dancing, thoughts on Isaac and Things connection. Yeah, so I'll dance around this a little bit. But I feel like most people have probably seen it by now, but I'll still dance around it a little bit just so that I'm not outright spoiling it. I'll say this much. There is a moment that felt pulled from Harry Potter and the Chamber of the Secret, and the Chamber of Secrets, not the Chamber of the Secrets. I'm on like Lord of the Rings mindset right now or something. There's a moment that feels pulled directly from that movie with this text on screen reveal, and I was like, this is so Harry Potter right now. And I kind of dug it, honestly. So I thought that was a really unique way to retcon a character's backstory or give us more information. And I love when shows or movies are able to pull that off. I've, of course, talked about often how I think Stranger Things should do that in season 5. But yeah, I really appreciated what they did with that. it was able to give Thing his own identity and kind of his mini character arc. So I was very appreciative of that. I will say it did catch me by surprise. Did not expect that to happen at all. And when it did, I was like, dang, they went for it. And I kind of appreciate it. Thoughts on all the dancing? I assume we're talking specifically like the dance scene of this season with Enid. I liked it, and there's a Lady Gaga song incorporated that fit the vibe. I mean, that it's all cool. Like I didn't mind that at all. Yeah, I wasn't bothered by that at all. I thought it was a standout scene. It seems like most people have as well. I've seen the comments on my review. A lot of people were like, the dance scene's awesome. So yeah, I mean, that was a highlight. And then to answer, the main part of this question, there's a connection between two characters that I didn't see coming, but I was appreciative of. It was kind of gutsy, but I think it worked. But no, thank you for the super chat, Elizabeth. And I believe I'll be doing a spoiler review for Wednesday season 2 at some point, either tomorrow or Friday, where I kind of spoiler talk mainly the big reveals, in the back half of the season. But I'll probably talk some part 1 stuff as well. All right, Detective Cobra with a super chat. What's the word? A recurring person who joins the stream. My mind is escaping right now. A frequenter of the streams, Detective Cobra is. So shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat. Yes, I fully plan to watch this before the new one. Look, this was back in 2023, I want to say. It was leading up to Wish, which was like the Disney animation movie that came out and sort of celebrated. I don't remember if it was 100 years. I think it was like around 100 years. It was the celebration of Disney animation, right? And that movie comes out. It wasn't great, but I did, back in October. The movie came out in November of 23. So I think in October, I said, I'm going to watch every Walt Disney Animated Studios film leading up to it. And I made some pretty good progress, to be honest with you guys. I got to Bolt. I think Bolt was the last movie I watched, which is 2008. And then the next one up was Princess and the Frog. And I think I started it 5 minutes in and I was like, I'm just not really feeling it today. And then I just never picked it back up. So I have not abandoned that challenge fully. I'm also doing a Spielberg watch through that's just on hiatus right now because I'm kind of waiting until next year to really pick it up because he's got a new movie coming out. But I've reviewed every movie in the Disney Challenge, every movie in the Spielberg Challenge. I have an in-depth review on my Letterboxd, and that's kind of my notes, my reference. Like my thoughts on those Disney movies, they really haven't changed all that much. I'm very fresh on them still. If I watch something within like a 2 to 3 year period and I jot out my notes, I usually remember the movies very well. And so I don't need to go back and restart the Disney journey because there's just no need to. I mean, some of those were brutal to sit through. There's certain ages. I believe the Dark Ages is actually what one of them is called. The 80s for Disney. I was like, man, this is brutal to sit through. And then even then, there's some really early stuff. Like I'm trying to think. I think Fun and Fancy Free is one of the movies. Like Make Mine Music. There's just some weird ass movies in there that just feel out of place. And so anyway, I don't know why I got on that rant, but yes, Zootopia was one of the movies I didn't end up getting to. But I will watch it probably before Zootopia 2 because I have a feeling Zootopia 2 is going to be a box office smash hit. So I gotta be, a part of the conversation, as they say. Let's take a sip of this Sprite Chill Cherry Lime. It's incredible, really. It's maybe my new favorite beverage. Delicious stuff. I saw it at the grocery store. I was like, you know what? I'll give this a whirl. Not disappointed so far. Let's see. We'll do a couple regulars. We got my boy Jacob Starcourt Food Cart in the chat. Best mod in the game, as I always say. Shout out him. I haven't seen the final few episodes of Wednesday yet, but I will check them out soon. Definitely worth the watch. Nate Plays 11 says, shout out Nate. He's a patron, actually. What's your favorite episode from Wednesday Part 2? I would say Ep 6 is up there. And it's because of the main plot. I described it as Freaky Friday meets Teen Wolf. You just got to watch to find out. Ego Waffle, what's good? How we doing, everybody? Welcome. I don't think season 3 is confirmed to be the last. We are getting a 3rd season of Wednesday, but again, I don't know if it's the last one or not. Again, super chat's the way to go to guarantee I get your question, comment, concern. Huge way to help support the channel. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome. Join the Tron Ares movement. I plan to see the movie. Does that count? Am I a part of the cult now? I'm kidding. What's up, everybody, though? Welcome. I don't know the release date. None of us know the release date for Wednesday season 3. We just know that it's confirmed, and I don't want it to be a 3-year wait. Now, I've been forgiving of certain projects for having long gaps Stranger Things being one of them, because that was affected by, I mean, the pandemic, the strikes. It's unfortunate. Also, Stranger Things has the most insane VFX I've ever seen in a TV show, bar none. And so it makes sense that they have to really take their time with that. Wednesday doesn't necessarily have all that. Episodes aren't as long. The longest episode of this season was like an hour and 9 minutes. And that's probably going to be like the shortest episode of a season of season 5 of Stranger Things. And so to me, I'm like, let's get the ball rolling right now. You know, honestly, they should have started writing a long time ago, in my opinion. So hopefully they've been writing the season. Maybe they have it done by Thanksgiving. I'd say start filming early next year, film, into the fall of 2026, and then get this season out summer or fall of 2027. I think that's fair and realistic for most streaming shows. I'm looking at like something like, say, The Boys, for example. As of late, I'm looking at the gap between, season 4 and 5. That was summer 2024. This new season is probably going to come out summer 2026. So about a 2-year wait for shows of that caliber, VFX wise, and production quality wise. I feel like that's a fair assessment. 3 would be a bit much, and honestly, I do think that the reason there was a 3-year gap this time was because of what's it called? Of freaking the totally lost my train of thought. The strikes, I think, that's July to November. A chunk of production of Wednesday was affected by that. And so that's why I think there's been a longer gap between seasons of TV that have come out this year. And I think they'll kind of get back to the norm being 1.5 to 2 years for the big streaming shows. I don't think we're going to be waiting 3 years for Wednesday. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But could you guys imagine waiting 3 years? Especially when, it's not like they're setting up some huge, some universe-changing season. It's still relatively small scale. And so I think they should be able to get it done in a timely manner. We got some super chats, though. Thank you guys so much for sending those in. We got a bunch. Isaiah's everything, the man. Hey, Chris, how you doing? I'm doing good, man. How's your week been? It's been solid. Can't complain. Some movie news I've seen recently. Superman 2 has a release date. Yay. And Call of Duty is getting movie. Thoughts? Let me take a sip of Sprite. So I saw that news today about Superman. Man of Tomorrow, they're calling it, I believe. It comes out July 2027. So in about 2 years, roughly. That, to me, is good news for the superhero movie genre, because that means that in the year 2027, as of right now, and I guarantee you 1 or 2 of the movies I'm about to list will get delayed, if not 3 of them. That means that we are getting Superman 2, The Batman Part 2, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, and Avengers Secret Wars in the same calendar year. I mean, it has all the potential in the world to be one of the all-time years for, superhero media. I don't know if, again, I have a really strong feeling one of those, at least 2 of those maybe, is getting pushed. If I had to put money on it or something, if I had to, commit to one of those movies getting delayed, I'm pretty confident it's going to be Secret Wars. But we'll see. So, yeah, I'm not really, when it comes to those movies, especially Superman 2, I'm not saying I'm not excited for Superman 2, but I thought Superman was solid. I watched it the once, and I thought I was like, this is a solid step for DC. I haven't had the desire to really go back to it. I don't know when I will. And the more I see it from the movie on Twitter, the more I'm specifically clips, not people's takes, but clips from the movie. I'm like, yeah, I kind of feel valid in how I feel on the movie, which was it was solid, but it didn't really do much for me. It was solid, though. And I think that's what DC needs. But I'm not hyped for that movie by any means personally. I am hyped for the Batman Part 2. I am pretty excited for Beyond the Spider-Verse. So yeah, that's how I feel about Superman, Man of Tomorrow. I don't know if they're going to keep Superman in front of it. I think they definitely should. They should not just release a movie called Man of Tomorrow. They should release a movie called Superman, Man of Tomorrow, just for box office reasons. And then Call of Duty movie. I don't know if I've heard about this. Huge if true. I think that is... that has all the potential in the world of the box office, because Call of Duty is one of those, big brand name video games that I grew up playing that was just huge. One of the first really major video game franchises. And I feel similar about Fortnite. I think Fortnite is $1 billion movie waiting to happen. I mean, it's bigger than Minecraft, arguably. Fortnite is. And so I think that's a movie they need to get the ball rolling with if they want to continue making, juggernaut box office vehicles, essentially, out of video games. I think Fortnite's the way to go. But Call of Duty also kind of seems like a gold mine if box office is the end game here. All right. Elizabeth says Ophelia after Wednesday. Stranger Things soon. Yeah, I mean, they kind of teased Ophelia to be a main character in this new season of Wednesday without saying too much. And so I'm curious about season 3. I really am excited for this. Maybe more excited than I was for season 2. Because I felt season 1 had this finality to it where it could have been like a one-off. But now they've expanded the world. Certain characters' fates are up in the air. There are some loose ends with open plot lines. I'm like, we need that 3rd season sooner. And so I think there will be more urgency to get it out. But yeah, I feel you. I think Ophelia is going to be a huge character, and I want to know who's playing her. There are a couple different routes they could go. One of them involves, an entirely new actress playing Ophelia. Another is they could reuse one of the actresses from this season. I have this weird thing where I'm like, it could be, I don't want to say too much because the show came out today. But I think it could be an actress who's already played a character in season 2. That's all I'm going to say for now. I have like a full short out where I do this ending explain type video if you want like my real spoilery things. And I'll be doing spoiler talk tomorrow. Probably tomorrow or Friday. But yeah, I got lots to say. Stranger Things soon. You're damn right. You're damn right. We're getting closer and closer every day. All right, let me take a sip of this Sprite Chill. This is one of the best drinks I've had in a long time. Quite tasty. Let's rattle off some of the regular chat real quick. Aaron says, did you see the new Wicked for Good trailer? I did. It's like a 30-second tease, almost like a TV spot, I want to call it. I did catch that, and I quite enjoyed what I saw on the drive. So last week, can't believe it was already a week ago, I drove down to Orlando with Kim, and on the drive, we listened to the Wicked soundtrack, and then we went through and compared like the second act of the play. We listened to all of that, and Cam was kind of breaking it down, like how this could play into the movie, and she like really did a deep dive for the back half of the play for me and how they could translate that to film. That was probably an hour and a half of our drive. And so I'm really looking forward to Wicked for Good. It's been one of my most anticipated of the year since the beginning. It's certainly my most anticipated for the remainder of the year, right alongside, I'd say, like Predator Badlands, probably, unless I'm forgetting something. But I'm really, really pumped for that. And everything I've seen, it just makes me more and more excited. So yeah, I saw that. I was real pumped. Welcome in, everybody. Jay Hayes, shout out. Stranger Things 5 is going to be peak. I certainly hope so. Ego Waffle says, what are your predictions for the Stranger Things promotional things? World tours, events, Stranger Things Day, etc. Yeah, it's hard to predict so far in advance, but we're not that far if you think about it. I think for damn sure we're getting something on Stranger Things Day. Probably a trailer of sorts. If they haven't done the official trailer by then, which I'm sure they will have, we'll get the official trailer then. If they have dropped the official trailer, say they drop it later this month or in October, they'll probably do a final trailer or a trailer number 2. This is the final season, so they're probably going to want to market the hell out of it when, because I mean, Wednesday's done. The next big show is Stranger Things. That's going to occupy marketing for Netflix for the remainder of the year. So they'll probably go heavy on that now. Like, now's the time to do it. They'll probably give Wednesday about a week. Then they'll go in. World tours, I don't know. I haven't really tracked that kind of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they do like a world premiere in every major city, though. Like they could totally do one in, I'm trying to think where. I mean, likely LA, obviously. Likely maybe New York. I know they've done one there, but outside of the US, London, I would be surprised if they, I don't know where. I mean, where did Wednesday go? Wednesday went on a whole world tour. They could just go to some of those major cities as well. And then, yeah, I imagine they'll do the standard press tour stuff where you've got actors being interviewed. I don't know if Netflix is doing Geek Week this year or not. They did last September, but I feel like To Doom was kind of a combination of Geek Week and the typical To Doom stuff. And so that kind of occupied the space that Geek Week would have, if that makes any sense. So I don't know what to expect. My honest to God expectation is that we'll start to get marketing and like the toys and the Funkos later this month or October. But like by October, we're probably going to have like our first look at the Funko Pops, our first official trailer. Sorry, I just hit my computer. I'd imagine they'd have to get on that. So we shall see, but no, I like the question. All right, we got a bunch of super chats rolling in. Thank you guys so much. Keep them coming. The support truly does mean the world, and anything goes a very long way. All right. This one's from Josh. Shout out Josh, always showing support. Josh says, what if one of the kids are being used as a spy for Vecna whilst he's hiding, and the burn is to figure out who? Most likely 11 or Max. Okay. What if one of the kids are being used as a spy for Vecna? If any of them were to be a spy, most likely Will or even Max. I might have misread that. Yeah, I think it certainly is either Will or Max, and it would make the most sense for it to be Will, especially on rewatch of the show, which I'm doing right now. For those who did not know, I'm rewatching Stranger Things. I'm halfway through season 2, and I'm actually doing like a deep dive discussion on every episode with my fiance Cam on Patreon. Shout out to Patreon. Go check it out if you haven't. The community's growing over there. We're having fun. But anyway, the whole discussion of like true sight has come into play because that's the episodes we're on. We just watched 3 and 4 and got those out. It's almost obvious in retrospect that Will Byers has had powers all along. And it's so evident on this rewatch to me with the season 5 footage as a comparison point that he has powers. Now, we've known he's had this connection, this sense, almost like a sixth sense, a spidey sense, if you will, where his neck tingles and he can like sense the presence of Vecna, essentially, right? Well, he's got something else going on. And if you use, I've been running with this all the while. I think that there was some traumatic event. Obviously, him being taken to the Upside Down was traumatizing for him, but something had to have happened when he was down there that as a defense mechanism or something, his brain locked away his ability to have access to the physical powers that Will actually use to evade the Demogorgon and stay alive as long as he did in the Upside Down. And so to me, that's going to be the big reveal, maybe even at the end of Ep 4 Sorcerer, is that Will does have powers. They've just been locked away in his brain. He hasn't had the ability to physically remember them or access them. And then something will unlock those. I don't know what. Maybe it is the fact that, Vecna returns and somehow it all comes rushing over Will like a wave. And he's like, damn, have I been like this spy for Vecna all along? But unbeknownst to me, like, am I a traitor unintentionally? Lots of interesting, conflict could arise from this. But again, I think they got a lot to play around with the whole spy concept. The burn as well. I mean, we see in season 2 with Dr. Owens, there's a guy in the same exact suit with the flamethrower. He's burning like these tendrils and vines at the Mother Gate, at Hawkins' lab. And we see a similar shot, except there's 2 guys doing it at the gate at Hawkins' lab that's formed, or not Hawkins' lab, at the library downtown Hawkins that's formed in the season 5 teaser trailer. There's so much to get into. And I mean, we could spend hours talking about it, but there's a lot to discuss, a lot to discuss. So I like it though. I could totally see someone being a spy. Elizabeth says Supergirl is the next superhero movie. Thoughts? Is that right? That doesn't feel right, but I know it is. I fully believe you. I think you are correct. That's insane. I mean, yeah, you're right. Marvel's next movie is Spider-Man. That's in July. This comes out in June. Yeah, and there's like none of the trash Sony Spider-Man spin-off movies coming out. That's the next DC. Yeah, you're 100% correct here. I mean, that's nuts. I feel like that's actually good, though. I think we need sort of a break with superhero media sometimes. And pumping the brakes is on output is probably for the better. This year, there were 3 MCU movies. None of them really performed that well. Excuse me. Superman was technically a success, but it's not like it blew anyone away at the box office. And then was that it? Yeah, I mean, that was it. So it wasn't the strongest year for superhero movies at the box office. I don't think any of them are going to finish. I don't know if this is even a hot take. I don't think any of them are going to finish top 5 at the box office by the end of the year, are they? If we're looking, I mean, Minecraft, obviously, Jurassic World's up there. Zootopia and Avatar are going to take 2 of those spots, and Wicked's probably going to outgross all those superhero movies. It did the first one like 750 almost. So yeah, I don't think any superhero movie is finishing in the top 5 at the box office. That's insane. When's the last time that happened? I don't even know. Someone would have to look that up. That's like a long time ago. Maybe, 2020? Was there a No, because even then, I think we got that year doesn't even count to me. That year's the COVID year. But anyway, yeah, Supergirl being the next one feels weird because it's September 3rd of 2025. That is June. So it does feel really far off, but it'll be here before we know it. And then we got Spider-Man the next month. And then we got an Avengers movie allegedly in December. I mean, yeah, it's all gonna go by fast. You got to think too. We have some superhero shows coming out to fill that gap. Streets are saying. I love to say that, and it's just Twitter that I'm referring to, by the way. Streets are saying that Daredevil Born Again season 2 is dropping in March. Huge if true. I mean, they started filming pretty quickly. I think they were filming when season 1 premiered. So I do believe that. I think they will get those episodes out by the end of March. They'll start dropping them. Punisher special as well. That's superhero content. We're getting Lanterns, I believe, in the winter of next year. So either the first 3 months of the year or April. I mean, TV is going to occupy our mind. And honestly, I have watched a lot of new TV this year, but I have not caught up on the following shows: Alien Earth, Peacemaker Season 2, and I haven't watched Andor yet, and it sickens me that I haven't done that, but I will. I know I have to do that by the end of the year. I need to. You know what I've been doing? Oh, I can't wait to share that. I haven't shared this with anyone yet. By the way, new shirt. Let me get this new shirt I got at Epic Universe is the Universal Monster shirt. It's pretty cool. Got another one as well that's like Frankenstein, cartoonish. It's like it glows in the dark or something. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm excited. And thank you, by the way, Jaden, for the super chat. I have started rewatching a show. Started this August 21st. I wrote it in my notes. I am on the season 2 finale. I'll watch that tonight. I cannot wait. I've seen the show once in its entirety. I've seen scenes from the show many times. To me, it is a top 5 show ever made. Arguably one. I have started my rewatch of Breaking Bad. Yes, I have done it. I believe the first time I watched this, and I know for a fact, actually, it was the fall of 2018. It was November. I was a freshman in college. I was living with my roommate at a dorm at the time, and he introduced me to Breaking Bad. We watched movies frequently, he and I, because we had nothing else to do. And so we watched a lot of movies, probably 2 movies a night. And when we started Breaking Bad, and I watched it in 3 weeks. Insane. I've started the rewatch, and I just, there are so few shows where I'm able to like allow myself to unplug from the outside world, the stress of life, and just go like let Netflix roll into the next episode. So many times with shows, be like, I got to take 5 here. I got to take 10 here. I got to scroll on my phone. Nope. I'm so locked into a Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul episode. It goes by in the blink of an eye, and the episodes are perfectly paced. I also love the runtime. This is not like an HBO show, so it's not an hour on the dot. 47 minutes tops. Phenomenal. To me, it's on the Mount Rushmore of just television achievements. Greatest television shows of all time, undoubtedly, in my opinion. So I'm enjoying the hell out of that rewatch. The reason I'm rewatching it is for personal enjoyment. I have to watch things like detached from any, I'm not going to make a video on this. I'm just watching it for me. I have to have like the me things, However, I do think I'm going to end up doing a mega ranking. I think when I rewatch Breaking Bad on my own time, when I rewatch Better Call Saul, and then I rewatch El Camino, I might do a mega ranking of like every season and El Camino combined, and then do like a huge character tier list. It's just a project I have in the works for when we get to like the slow periods of time next year, like March or February. So anyway, I'm yapping now. Let me take a sip of this. I'm just yapping. All right. We got a lot more super chats. Thank you guys so much. Elizabeth says, Beyond the Spider-Verse and Superman Man of Tomorrow. Wow, yeah. Throw in, again, Secret Wars and what's the other one? The Batman Part 2. And maybe even another MCU movie that we don't know about yet. We're cooking. We're cooking in 2027. And we always do this. By we, I mean me. I look ahead at the slate. I'm like, oh, next year's going to be the year. I was saying that so hard about 2025. 2025 hasn't been the year for movies for me. It hasn't. TV, I've quite enjoyed. And again, all eyes are on Stranger Things. Next year, though, has a pretty good chance to be great. But 2027, damn. I mean, it's already looking to be. I mean, I don't want to say anything drastic here, but you got a Superman movie, a Batman movie, an Avengers movie, and a Spider-Verse movie. It doesn't really get better than that. Those are like top dogs across the board. Like the 2 heroes of DC, the animated Spider-Man franchise, and the freaking Avengers. Like, it doesn't really get better than that. So yeah, very, very hopeful for 2027. Josh with the super chat. Thank you, Josh. I've heard some productions shoot fake scenes to trick audiences and protect against leaks. Is it possible Stranger Things did this with the final episode? It's definitely possible because I'm thinking of Avengers Endgame. They shot 2 versions of the end of that movie. I believe one was a funeral and one was a wedding. And the actors actually didn't know what they were at. Only like a handful knew. I think Tom Holland didn't know. or Mark Ruffalo, right? He didn't know, probably for the better, because they like to yap. They like to yap. So yeah, I think it's definitely possible. I know they were shooting some stuff in downtown Hawkins at one point, but again, who knows if that was real or fake or when that even really was. I don't know. It's all nonsense to me. So they certainly could have put some fake paparazzi photos out there to misdirect audience members, and it wouldn't surprise me if they intentionally have misled people. But yeah, I hope they took as much precaution as possible with avoiding serious leaks. Obviously, on the channel, I've never covered anything that I deem to be a serious leak. That's just not what I want to do. But there are obviously a lot of paparazzi photos out there. And so, I've seen a lot. I also haven't seen a lot. And I'm very good at throwing things out the window if I see something that I don't want to see. This goes for not just Stranger Things, but any movie or show. If I see something, I'm like, oh, that never happened. Then I just erase it from my brain. And I gaslight myself. But they definitely could have filmed some fake stuff. Great question. Matt with the super chat says, if they make a Fortnite movie, who would you cast? I would make the movie animated. Actually, I don't know. Would that do better as an animated movie or live action? It might do better. It might translate better to live action. And who better to lead that film than the king of being cast in everything, from Garfield to Mario, Super Mario Bros. To Guardians, Chris Pratt. No, I'm kidding. I'm halfway kidding, because I'm making the joke because he's in everything. I feel like he would just end up in that movie. I don't know. Call me crazy. He would end up in that movie. Now I'm just predicting the cast. He would end up in that movie. Keegan-Michael Key would end up in that movie. Now I'm just naming the Super Mario Bros. Movie cast. I don't even know. Who would I cast? I think it'd be fun to see Madeline Klein in that film. It could be fun to see who's like a younger. Let's get. You know what? I think this would be perfect. Someone who was wronged by. He was in a movie. It was 2017. The movie was not good in my opinion. If you guys like it, more power to you. Dacre Montgomery. He was in Power Rangers. He could lead something like that. I feel like that would be up his alley. I don't know. Call me crazy, but I want to see Dacre in there. Elizabeth says, where do you see Zendaya's career going? Awesome question. Zendaya, she has won an Emmy, I believe, for her work on Euphoria. Zendaya is almost at the point, in my opinion, where she has become such a big brand, such a big celebrity, that she doesn't really need to act as much. She's kind of becoming a Leo in like the sense of Leo is very selective with his projects. He's not doing multiple movies a year. Let's see. What is her filmography? She's done the No Way Home, the Spider-Man trilogy, I should say. She's got the new one coming out. She's going to be in the Odyssey. She is obviously in the 3 Dune movies, if you count the new one that's coming out. Challengers was huge. I feel like she's just going to do what she wants. I wouldn't be surprised if she lies low a bit after, the new Spider-Man, the new Dune, the Nolan film. So like after 2026, early 2027, her and Tom Holland might just take off and chill for a year or so. I feel like I don't know. I don't think Zendaya is going to be like an Emma Stone, where Emma Stone is in like tons of projects and nominated for all his Oscars. I think Zendaya is going to be, like I said, selective, and it'll almost become like an event where you're like, oh, Zendaya's in a movie, I got to go see that. Whereas with other actors, even, I love Brad Pitt, he's doing a lot more. He's churning out more movies. So I think it'll become a rarity to see her as often. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Elizabeth says, is there any news for the Lantern series? Not that I know of. I've only ever seen that one picture, which is the 2 actors. I think it's Aaron Pierre and Kyle Chandler, I want to say. The 2 of them in like jackets on the street. That's all I know about the show. I don't know much else. It's on HBO. I have pretty good feeling. I have a pretty good feeling, I should say, that it's going to be solid. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty hopeful for that show. I think it's in good hands, especially with the creators. Okay. Glad college football's back. Yes, it's good to be back. Certainly. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm very glad it's back. Let's see. Sorry, someone's calling me right now. Thoughts on the theory, Man of Tomorrow is possibly a Superman and Lex team up to take on Brainiac. Could be fun. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a cool way to not fall into the trap of being repetitive. I mean, you don't want it to be the same exact movie as the first. And if it was just Superman versus Lex again, it could feel a bit repetitive. However, this could be sort of a Charles Xavier teaming up with Professor X. I just said the same two people, by the way. Charles Xavier teaming up with Eric Lenscher. I don't know why. I always do that. I'll be talking about the X-Men and I'll say Professor X, Charles Xavier, the same person. Magneto and Professor X teaming up. You know how it is in like Days of Future Past when they're working together, but they still have issues with each other. It could be something along those lines. I could see it being that sort of relationship. That actually sounds pretty cool, honestly. I'm not opposed to that at all. So that could be fun. That could be fun. Hold on, let me see something. Okay. Sorry, I got a phone call. Threw me off. Weird. Anyway, yeah, I think that's a pretty cool theory. I haven't seen a lot of reactions online. I've just seen people tweeting out the pictures from the comics about it. This is game changing, by the way. Sprite, zero sugar, chill, cherry lime. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Do you think the Avengers poster at Disney in California? I have not seen this, but I would imagine it's AI. There's so much AI online right now. So much. It's hard to believe what you see anymore. Ooh, shout out Jello Plays TV, longtime subscriber. How you doing, man? Hope all's well. Hi, Chris. It's been a hot minute. Has the Doomsday BTS information sold you on it? I know you were skeptical before. Also, it's football season, Davey. You're damn right it is, man. It's the most wonderful time of the year, as I say. So I've only seen some of the like one set picture of like Eben Moss Backrack and I think Danny Ramirez and maybe Wyatt Russell. And then of course there's this drama going around of there being like a fight on set to the point where like one actor apparently, this is all rumors, one of them was like, I refuse to act with this other person. Like the only way I'm going to be in a scene with them is if you like digitally fix it. So like this character's filming scenes in one room and it seems like kind of a, dare I say, a bit of a shit show, which is kind of alarming, but I still like am weirdly optimistic about it. And maybe it's delusion. Maybe it is just full on delusion and I've lost my mind and the movie's going to stink and I've just bought in blindly. And if this is the movie that it takes to really open my eyes that, you know, that something is seriously wrong, then I hope that it is if it has to be. But I also am optimistic because of Robert Downey Jr. for some reason. I just think he's such a star. I feel like he wants it to be great. You know, the MCU with the Russos, they haven't missed. The movie has a lot. It's a tall task, but I've kind of bought in a little foolishly. Could be foolish, but yeah. Do you guys remember when Doomsday was supposed to come out in May? Could you imagine if it was still slated for May of next year? That would mean that we would be getting a trailer probably in December. That's nuts. Absolutely insane. Jay Hayes, hey Chris, what was your favorite part of Epic Universe? Thank you for asking. I love talking theme parks. I went down there a week ago today. I want to say I was actually in Epic Universe right now. I miss it dearly. My favorite part was Dark Universe, which is based after the classic Universal Monsters. I loved it there. And I had a feeling, I mean, I didn't know. I went into every land open-minded. But that's the one that really won me over for various reasons. I thought it was so immersive. Atmospheric would be a word I would use, from like the fog machines going off when you walk in to just the attention to detail of like the manor, the rides, mainly Monsters Unchained, which is my favorite ride in the whole park that I've done. I haven't had the chance to do everything there. I only went for one day, but I just had a blast. And it was so cool to feel like you're stepping into classic Hollywood film in a way. And that's really why I ended up liking it, is just, it felt like a throwback to the classics. And I enjoyed the hell out of it. There's also the Burning Blade Tavern, which is like a bar type restaurant. And yeah, they had some really cool themed drinks. They had like a beer that I got that I liked. They also had this, if you guys like pimento cheese, I don't know if it depends probably where you're from. If you like pimento cheese or not, it's more of a Southern thing, I feel. But they had these pimento cheese bites. Oh, they were good. But the real snack that I got there that was legit was the garlic steak. That was tasty. Then in other parts of the land, they had like these cinnamon bites. They had this like Frankenstein pretzel. Like I was just eating everything. Definitely wasn't my best day health wise, but you know, you got to go all out. Then you've got Burke, which is like How to Train Your Dragon, that area, the Isle of Burke. They have the mac and cheese cones, which is like a bread cone stuffed with mac and cheese. And then this one we got is called PB&J. And I know you're thinking, ooh, peanut butter and jelly. It stands for pork. What does it stand for, actually? I forget. Pork is the main thing, though. And so there's like pulled pork in it, macaroni, and like some spices. I think there's like a bacon jam is what the B&J stands for. Maybe. I don't know. Regardless, it's not butter and jelly, and it's tasty, and it's really good. They also had the Hiccups Wing Gliders ride there, which was like a fun coaster that, I mean, it felt like you were flying on a dragon. And test drive the scores blasting the whole time. It was awesome. So I just had a great time. I really did. And I will be going back down there for sure. For sure. I didn't get to do everything. Like I said, I walked into the Nintendo land and I was like, this isn't my thing. And I just left. Like we went in there for 10 minutes. Neither of us are huge Nintendo people. Cam didn't really grow up playing like Mario Kart or anything. I did. I grew up playing like Mario Kart, you know, Super Mario Strikers, pretty much any Mario game like that I played, but it's not like I'm dying to go there. And it's such a popular area because so many families and kids go there that the wait times were disgusting over there, really. So I was like, we're just not going to do that. And we were both chill with that. So Dark Universe for the win for me. All right, let's hit some of this the regular chat real quick. Then we'll hop right back into some super chats. Hi, Shane. I think Steve's going to live. I got a weird gut feeling. I don't know why. Did I see Stranger Things was active on IG recently? I saw, I think, a screenshot of that on Twitter or something. Pretty cool stuff. That means things could be coming. They might have scheduled a post. I like how they leave their activity on. It allows for us to stalk them. Next time you're doing a vlog, I have no idea. I'll probably do another filming locations vlog closer to season 5 where I try and go to some season 5 locations. Ian says, any plans to see the re-release of Back to the Future? Great Scott. Maybe. Potentially. I don't know. I think it comes out on Halloween. If they're doing showings after that, I'll probably try and go. On Halloween, probably a no-go, but I would love to go see Back to the Future in theaters. Especially because it's one of my favorite movies ever. Movie Fan 2002 with a great question here on Super Chat. Rank all the movies from the first 3 phases of the MCU. I think I might have actually bit off more than I can chew. How about I do this, actually? Let's do this for the people. Letterboxd is the place to be. I'm going to do this as fast as I can, and I'm honestly going to mess it up, probably. I'll just have to... All right, here we go. We'll start at the bottom. I don't know. I'm not even going to count numbers. I'm just going to say movies. So these are just the first 3 phases of the MCU. In last place, I have Thor: The Dark World. Then I have Captain Marvel. Then I have The Incredible Hulk. Then I have Ant-Man and the Wasp. Then I have Iron Man 3. Then I have Thor, Iron Man 2, Far From Home, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Captain America: The First Avenger, Age of Ultron. This is actually kind of hard. Thor Ragnarok. That's okay. Ant-Man, Homecoming, Guardians 2, Winter Soldier, Avengers, Guardians 1, Civil War, Iron Man, Endgame, Infinity War. There you go. I had to skip around. I have my list on Letterboxd, but I was having to skip around. Off the top of the head, too. Great question. Super Chat here says, hello, Chris. What are your hopes for Stranger Things spinoffs? So I've always said this as my go-to. And you know what? I just don't know. I don't know anymore. And the reason is because of the play. My go-to was always, I want to see young Joyce and Hopper in high school in the 50s. And I feel like the first Shadow play has kind of prevented that from happening in all likelihood. Never say never, I guess. But that's always been kind of the spinoff show I want to see. It's not going to happen. I've accepted that because the play exists. Unless they want to do another spinoff with them, sure, I'm game for that. But that's the one that always made sense to me. I think with a successful show, doing a prequel with characters from years ago is usually a safe bet. However, I just don't know. I think another viable option, like I've said, is like Erica and her friends. I just don't know if they could carry a show. Also, I need some direction on what this spinoff is going to be, because if this season eradicates, the Upside Down and it's done, can you have a Stranger Things show without the upside down at play, without, those concepts of another realm essentially, right? I don't know. I don't know. So hopefully they give us answers and clarity on that. It's so hard to predict. This super chat says, how do you feel about the movie Prometheus? I quite, am mixed on that movie. I really liked elements of it. It did change sort of the lore and the history of how xenomorphs came to be. I think that's more, I guess, prominent in Covenant. But it's a movie that was really dedicated to some world building and recontextualizes the hell out of the Alien franchise. I think it takes some swings and misses sometimes for me, but I do respect the vision. I also got to watch it again. It's one of those movies that I feel like is either going to get better or worse on rewatch. There is no in between. It's not going to be like, yeah, I feel the same. It's either going to be like, oh, this is like eye opening for me, or I'm going to hate it even more. And I'm kind of in the middle on it. I don't hate it. I'm about like a 3 out of 5, 3.25 out of 5, something like that. So it's not one of my favorites from the franchise. I've always preferred Alien, Aliens, Alien Romulus. I think I might prefer Prometheus to Covenant, though, if I had to pick one. I want to cook up a Stranger Things candle for season 5. Any good scent name ideas? Don't say vanilla, lol. Steve's hair could go crazy. Yeah, you could do... Steve's hair is a good one. You could do... I mean, this is very basic, by the way, what I'm about to say, and it's not... This is like season 3. Like, I'm sure this might even exist. You could look into it. But if you wanted to do them for all the seasons, you could do, like, based on character nicknames, right? So I know the ice cream flavors came out. I don't know if you want to rip that off or not. I don't know if Dusty Bun was one of them, but if you wanted to make like a cinnamon one, you could do Dusty Bun. For season 5, though, I'm trying to think of like what is going on in season 5. Like you could do, you could almost do one that's like related to like, it smells kind of like smoky, almost like a campfire, because you've got, the burn commencing, but I don't know what you would call it. You could call it like upside down flames. You could call it like, burning gate, something like that. Doesn't really roll off the tongue, but yeah, I'm trying to think of things from season 5. Obviously, Steve's hair, if you're doing Stranger Things as a whole, it'd be not a bad idea at all, and it could just smell luscious. What else? Let's see. What else? Like Scoops Ahoy flavors certainly come into play. That's kind of an easy out. Yeah, I mean that's pretty. I mean, you could do something with Eddie. Depends. It depends on the plot of season 5. Like if Eddie returns as a vampire, you could do like something with that. Vampire's blood, Eddie's blood. I don't know. Who am I? And it could be like strawberry scented or something. Anyway. Keep it up with the candles, man. And I'm actually going to retrieve the vanilla stocked candle very soon. Please watch Alice in Borderland. It won't go to waste. So what is Alice in Borderland? Can someone tell me what this is? I've heard of it. I actually don't know what it is. I have not done my research on that show. Someone sell me on it. By the way, is that a t-shirt? If that's a t-shirt, hold on. What a t-shirt that is. Where'd you acquire that t-shirt? I'm always in the market for new Stranger Things merchandise, and I need to get some more shirts. I have like a couple shirts that I rotate through for videos. I'm always, especially with season 5, like I want a lot of new Stranger Things shirts to wear mainly. And so suggestions, I always shout them out, but Firefly is like I would say Firefly, the Hawkins crew neck I wear, that's Firefly. And they have the same one in black with upside down written. I'm probably going to get that. I might even have to buy that tonight. Like, I don't know. With fall coming up, so I want to get more Stranger Things merch. I do. And I've toyed around with the PO box. I used to have a PO box. I've toyed around with getting one again. For real this time. For months now. I've inquired about it. I've done my research. And so I may pull the trigger on that. I definitely want to do it before season 5. I think I might do it by the end of the month, though. That way I have the PO box for when season 5 rolls around, because I know a lot of people have asked about when I'm going to do that. Well, I'll let you know when I do, but that's maybe on the way. Elizabeth with yet another super chat saying a new leak with Magneto in the full suit. Ooh, I haven't seen this one. Big if true. I'm assuming we're talking about what's his name? It's escaping me. Ian M, right? Isn't that his name? Hold on. All right, let's find the guy. Ian, why am I blanking on his name? McKellen. I knew it was M. I was blanking. Ian McKellen. Yes. Legend. Gandalf. He's in the movie. He was in. His name was on one of the back of the chairs. So I haven't seen this. My thing about Magneto, and I don't even know if this is a hot take. I don't think it should be. I think Fassbender's the better Magneto, young Magneto that is, and I want him to show up in this movie. That's what I want. If we're going all out, guys, I want that. Matt says we should dedicate a stream to talking food. I would not be opposed to that. Theme park food, any type of food question, I usually answer if it catches my eye when I'm scrolling. I'm not opposed to this. And then another super chat here, and then we'll get back to the regular chat. I love a cute kitty cat. Stranger Things tattoo. Steve Hopper, my fave. What do I get? Ooh, it depends on how big of a tattoo you want to get, where on the body you want to get the tattoo. But I mean, when that came to mind, I thought, hey, I think Hopper, how sick would it be? Back to back. I don't know if someone could even draw this, by the way. Hopper and Steve, they're my faves as well. So back to back. This is going an extra mile. They're Hopper with the sword right here. And then there's like Demogorgons all around him and Demodogs. So on the one side, you got Hopper with the sword, and he's going up against a Demogorgon. And on the other side, you got Steve with his bat, Demodog. I might have cooked. I know that's a lot. I'm not really in the world of tattoos in terms of knowing how much work that is. That's probably insane to pull off, but that would be so cool. Ooh, that Sprite Zero's hitting. Any chance we get a Funko Pop showcase? These right here, I mean, take him down is kind of difficult sometimes, but in a video, I might do it. These are all signed. This is signed by Finn, Caleb, Gayton, Maya, and Joe signed these, and I got the Duffers right here, and I have a lot of Funkos on my other shelf. I'll probably do like a video with all the season 5 pops when those come out, though. I can't wait for your spoiler review of Wednesday. I will be doing that either tomorrow or Friday. Gavin, as always, asking some banger questions. Keep watch Burn, Sicario, Hell or High Water, Wind River. So I've never fully seen Sicario, but I have fully seen the other two. So it's tough to answer. I guess I would watch Sicario because I need to. I need to finish the movie. I never did. I started it years ago and never finished it. So I'd watch Sicario. I'd probably keep Hell or High Water. That's the one that I remember seeing in theaters, and I was kind of mixed on it because I thought it was going to be one thing going in, but it's a movie I have had the desire to rewatch before, like in my life. I just haven't. And then I'd burn Wind River, I guess, just because of how like gruesome and almost unforgiving that movie is. Like, it's tough to sit through. There's some really dark moments that show like the lowest of humanity. I don't know if I want to stomach that again. So that's why I would do what I did there. But they're all good movies. Sebastian says, have you seen the 28 Years Later Part 2 trailer? Yeah, I did. Bone Temple, it's called. I did not like 28 Years Later. And I don't like what I'm seeing from this trailer. I think I'm done. I think I might wave the white flag on the franchise. I didn't care for the last one, like so much so that I might be done. And I liked the first one I thought was really good, 8 out of 10. Then I thought 28 Weeks Later was solid. And then this one, they just have gotten worse though. And so I might have to get out of there, honestly. We'll see though. We'll see. We shall see. Dusty Bun is pretty good. Yeah, I think especially for a cinnamon-scented candle. Come on now. Come on now. Well, you're watching The Conjuring Last Rites in theaters. Not this week. Excuse me. So I don't know. To be honest, with a lot of horror movies, it takes so much convincing for me to go see it on the big screen. Also, I have this weird rule where I'm like, I got to rewatch the movies in the franchise. And I just don't feel like doing that with The Conjuring. The third movie has aged so poorly for me. And with this movie not being directed by James Wan, I'm kind of turned away from it. I like, there's this idea of what a Conjuring movie should be and can be in the first two. And I know it's not going to be that good. So that kind of just deters me from wanting to go see it, to be honest with you guys. I don't know. I might just wait. Call me crazy. I might just wait. I do think we'll probably get a trailer of sorts within the next 3 or 4 weeks. Yes, Main Gamer, hope all's well with you. I did hear about this. I'm hopeful that the movie can be solid. I hope it's awesome, but we shall see. Frozen Studios, what's good? playing a little catch up in the chat right here. Do you think if the ending of season 5 sucks, it ruins the whole show? If it's like detrimental and does damage to characters, it won't ruin what we have, but it will make it incredibly hard to go back and watch what we have. That would be so heartbreaking. I don't have to worry about this because I trust the Duffers so like hardcore. I'm really on the train of the Duffers, and I believe in them. We'll see though. All right, rank these 3 Netflix shows: Wednesday, Outer Banks, Cobra Kai. Ooh, thank you for not including Stranger Things. People always ask me these with Stranger Things, and I'm like, you guys are wasting a spot. You guys know Stranger Things is going to be number 1. Phenomenal question. I love that you didn't include Stranger Things, actually. Genuinely, thank you, because it makes it more fun. It's less predictable. I actually don't know how I'd rank these. I have an interesting relationship with each show. Cobra Kai is the one I've seen the most. Cobra Kai, I think, is the most rewatchable of the 3. I'm going Cobra Kai 1. I think I go Cobra Kai number 1. It would be wrong not to. Then it's real difficult because I like Outer Banks a lot. I like Wednesday a lot. We have 4 seasons of Outer Banks. We have 2 of Wednesday. I've seen Outer Banks more than I've seen Wednesday. And as ridiculous as Outer Banks gets, there's something about the treasure hunting antics that these pogues and kooks get into, and I just I eat it up. I think I go OBX 2, Wednesday 3. There's a very, that close between them. I obviously quite enjoy Wednesday, but I just, in terms of rewatchability, I think that's how I'd rank them, and then I'd go, that's probably how I'd rank them straight up as well. But it's all personal preference. Wednesday, I still quite admire, and that's not even like putting it in 3rd out of those 3 is, for me, that's not a big deal at all. They're all, I mean, the gap's it's not like one of these shows blows the others out of the water. They're all pretty comparable to me. Stranger Things is above all of them, though. Wednesday season 2 over season 1. I go season 1. I don't know if that's the consensus or not. I just thought season 1 was a little more focused, a little more streamlined with the mystery plot line. There weren't as many subplots. But I like season 2 quite a bit, genuinely. Sprite Zero Chill Cherry Lime. It's hitting different, and this is not a sponsorship. This is just me talking about soda. Have you seen The Summer I Turned Pretty? If so, Conrad or Jer. If you haven't, you should. I've not watched The Summer I Turned Pretty. My fiance does watch the show, and it's an interesting relationship she has with it. It's I would not fully classify it as like a hate watch, but it's like a I'm enduring this type thing, I haven't seen the show, and I probably never will, but I have seen moments, and whenever it's on and Cam is watching it, I'll watch scenes with her here and there when I'm like walking through a room or whatever. But it's just not, I don't think it's my cup of tea. And it's genuinely, to me, it seems like a show that I would watch because I'm like, oh, this is like so bad it's good type TV. And I'm not even taking a shot at it. It's just from what I've seen, I'm like, wow, this is something else. It's different than any of the other shows we've talked about here. And so The Summer I Turned Pretty, I can't say I'm Team Conrad or Team Jared because I don't really know. I don't know. Season 5 finale needs to come to theaters. That would be huge. Now, I've said this and I stand by this. I don't think I would want to watch the season 5 finale in a theater for the first time because the show premiered on Netflix. We've watched it on Netflix for all these years. It would feel weird to experience that on the big screen for the first time, but it would be so cool to rewatch the finale in theaters. Plus, I don't want to run the risk of going and seeing, the finale in theaters and then someone being an idiot or an a-hole in the theaters and ruining that experience. Whereas if I'm at home, I control the environment and I don't have to worry about other people ruining it. Sprite break. I got you. I'm going to cry so hard when it comes out. Yeah, it's going to be emotionally devastating to watch the end of Stranger Things. We only have a few months, by the way. Which is crazy to say. All right. We got a couple super chats here. Let's see. Where was I? Ooh, okay. Matt says, what's your favorite movies to get fall vibes? I'll say this. This is a movie that I don't even like all that much. But I think it's, without a doubt, a movie to set the fall vibe. Hocus Pocus. It's a movie that I don't really like all that much. Like I've seen it maybe once or twice. Once for sure, maybe twice. And it's not my favorite, but there's something about the Disney Halloween that's so like comforting. It's like comfort food in a weird way. Just the atmosphere that movie creates. And I feel similarly to like Halloween Town. There's something about that that gets me real in the fall mood. Another movie, because I view fall as more than just Halloween. Remember the Titans. It's a football movie. I just watched it the other week when I need a little bit of a pick me up. It's one of my favorites of all time, and that's like a fall movie. Knives Out's kind of a fall movie, but in terms of pure Halloween fall vibes, I'd say one of those two. You could argue something like a Tim Burton movie like Nightmare Before Christmas. I just watched Sleepy Hollow for the first time last year. You could argue something like that as well. Not really. I rarely think like a pure horror movie is going to set the fall vibe for me. That's more like Halloween, but like setting that fall atmosphere, I think a Hocus Pocus type movie does that really well. And I'm sure I'm forgetting something too off the top of my head. My nose is starting to itch. It always kind of itches when I stream for a certain amount of time. So I don't even know if I can answer this question. Kiss, Marry, Kill, Nancy 11 Max. It feels strange to do that. So I'm not going to, but I will take a sip of my Sprite in honor of it. So there you go. I'll tell you this much. I'll rank these characters by likelihood of them being endgame with who they're with right now. How about that? We'll flip the script a little bit. I think that Jonathan and Nancy will not end up together potentially. I think they end up with no one from the show. I think Max and Lucas have a good chance of ending up together the most. And then I would say 11 and Mike, they may or may not make it out of the season. We'll see. Together, that is. Network 98 with a super chat, always in here, hashtag the craving. It always comes up. I honestly love doing this. It's become a running gag, a running bit, I'd say, in every single stream for as long as I can remember. 5 years? Are we going on 5 years with this? I think we are. Okay. Yeah, I saw. Okay, so I did see the Dancing with the Stars cast reveal. That happened on Good Morning America. I think I watched it as it was happening this morning, actually. So yeah, I did see that. The one that got the biggest reaction on me was probably Corey Feldman. I was like, oh shoot, Stand By Me, Goonies. Wow, that's a pretty big pull. So Corey Feldman's on Dancing with the Stars, and that's probably the biggest name to me. There are a lot of other people on the show. I know that Corey Feldman's not going to go far, though, unless he gets like the audience vote. You never know who. You got to cater to your audience. You feel me? Corey Feldman's the one that really I was shocked that he was on there, but he does, he does go to conventions, so maybe he isn't a full-on like recluse or anything. He seems like I'm interested to see the interviews with him, on the show and the dynamic he has with his partner. Regarding the back half, is there a film you hate that Cam likes or the reverse? I will say that early on in our relationship, like years ago, she showed me the movie White Chicks, and I hated it. But I haven't seen that since. So that's like the only one I can really think of. But I freaking hated that movie. Hated it. All right. Breaking Bad is phenomenal TV. I hope you enjoy. Not counting 2020, the last year to not have a comic movie in the top 5 was 2017. Wow. Yeah, that sounds about right. 2017. What was coming out that year, though, then, man? I mean, you got Homecoming, Ragnarok, Guardians 2, theatrical cut of Justice League, Wonder Woman. Yeah, it's crazy. None of those made the top 5. I wonder what did. I'd have to go back and look. I saw this. Very exciting time to be a fan. And we talked about this earlier in the stream. I may or may not try and see it in theaters. Probably will try and see it in theaters. I do, Andres. I plan to rewatch Better Call Saul immediately after I finish Breaking Bad. Mount Rushmore of season 1s. What a question, by the way. So season 1s. We're not talking the whole show. Season 1 could be a banger. The rest of the show could fall off a cliff. I'll tell you what comes to mind first. Ted Lasso. What an incredible season 1. I'm putting that on there. So Ted Lasso season 1. I'm going Stranger Things. I think that's season 1 that's the number 1 spot. So I'd go Stranger Things and Ted Lasso. I would not put Breaking Bad on there. Breaking Bad season 1 is the weakest season, but it's still good TV. It's not as elite as you would hope. Let me go to the shows that I've seen. Hold on. I have a running list of my notes. No, I wouldn't put any of those on there. I would probably say, ooh, okay. That's tough. I would say, man, season 1. You could argue Game of Thrones. It's not the best season of the show, but I think in terms of, I think I will actually give it to Game of Thrones. So we'll go Stranger Things, Game of Thrones, Ted Lasso, and then I want to throw another fun one on there. We'll go with, I don't know. We'll go with, like, you could say True Detective season 1, but I've only seen it one time. You could say something like Squid Game. You could certainly say Succession. One of those would occupy that next spot. How about that? Okay. Haven't updated you on Alien Earth. Ep 1 and 2 are really good. 3 and 4 are okay. Newest one, 5, is really good. Just my opinion so far. Yeah, so I'm glad that's a show that I'm kind of waiting to see how it ends before committing to watching it. Do I think I'll ever go to a film festival? Hey, never say never. Never say never. I don't know which one I would go to or when that would be, but it's something I certainly would probably want to experience at least once. Hello, Owen. How are you? Hello there. Can you make a Marvel Disney Plus show specials ranking after Wonder Man comes out? I will probably do, and I'll have to remember this. I have it in my notes somewhere. I'll probably do like a 2026 MCU project ranking, updated with all the stuff that's coming out. So I'll probably do that at some point down the line. One Tree Hill best season. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's season 3 or 4. That was like the peak of the show, where like the first 4 are the best, but season 3 and 4, great stuff. Did I write Battle of Ministry? I did. You know how long I waited? 3 hours. It was not worth 3 hours. Now, when we got in line, it was 2-hour posted wait time, but there was delay, and I feel like at that ride especially, they always they undersell on how long the wait actually is. Most places at most times of day, they post a wait time, and it's like you don't have to wait that long by 10 to 20 minutes. Here, it's like, nope. It was hell. It was the longest line I've ever waited in for a ride, and it was not really worth it, in my opinion. It was solid, but man, it was a bit disappointing. A bit disappointing indeed. Check your latest texts. I got you. Ooh. Just saw on Twitter, the Stranger Things Instagram has 10 posts scheduled. Character posters, ? Big if true. More importantly, when will this be? Man, could you imagine they do it this week? That's insane. They have 10 posts individually, and they're going to post them all like throughout the day, maybe? Is it a one post with 10 pictures? Is it 10 separate posts? What if they just scheduled like all the episode runtimes, the dates for trailers? I don't think they would do that, but I'm just getting ahead of myself, man. Could you imagine though? Guess the runtimes of season 5. I think that the first episode will be like an hour 10. Then I'd say, this is all off the books, unofficial, by the way. That's off the top of my head on the live stream. 0 prep time. Let's see. We'll go hour 10. No. We'll go hour 12. It's going to be like an unconventional time. Then I'll say about an hour 19. Then I'll go hour 34. And then for that finale, I will say that episode is like an hour 59, right around 2 hours. So that's what I'd say off the top of my head. I'll just do volume 1 for now. The rest are too hard to think of off the top of my head. Okay. Do I watch baseball? I don't. I did when I was real young. I watched baseball like 2006, 2007, 2008. I had baseball cards. I watched it all the time. Now I don't care at all, really. It's all college football for me. Simply Boba says it's my birthday. Well, happy birthday to you. Welcome again to the stream. Thank you for some of the questions you've asked, and appreciate you for being a subscriber here. Biggest Stranger Things hot take. I can't, like, off the top of my head with hot takes, I'm never good. Like, I can't think of things that I'm like, oh, that's a big hot take of mine. I mean, maybe that I have preferred Stancy over Jancy oftentimes. Like, that might be a hot take, but that's really the only one I can think of immediately, at least. Most anticipated movie for the rest of the year has got to be Wicked for Good. Got to be Wicked for Good. I prefer season 1 of Wednesday, but again, I quite like both of them. Okay. Scariest horror movie you've ever seen? I would say a few come to mind. One of them is definitely The Conjuring, the first film. The second's also quite scary. Those two were very, very scary to me. The first, Insidious, is up there. Scariest movie I've ever seen. Talk to Me was very unsettling in the theater. And then even a movie like Weapons wasn't the scariest thing I've ever seen, but it was damn disturbing and unsettling. Those are all movies that come to mind when you say that. Fantastic Mr. Fox has a fall vibe to it. I have not seen Fantastic Mr. Fox. Maybe I actually did when I was a wee lad years ago, but I haven't anytime recently. Best M. Night film, best David Leitch film, best Nolan film, best Spielberg film, best Gunn film. All right, I'll say this off the top of my head, and my answer could change tomorrow, but here we go. Best M. Night film is Sixth Sense. Best David Leitch film, Bullet Train. Best Nolan film, Inception. Best Spielberg film, Raiders. Best James Gunn film, Guardians 1. We'll go with that. How's that? Peace, Matt. Hope you have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. Thoughts on the Marvel Zombies official trailer? I was, to be brutally honest with you, it seems kind of gimmicky to me. It does. Anytime a TV show, specifically Marvel in the past, really emphasizes the TVMA rating in something, they did it with Echo, it's because I feel like they're desperate. It's only a 4-episode thing. It's going to basically just be a long, drawn-out what if episode. It's going to be like 4 episodes of what if with the zombies and blood. I just don't really care. Yeah, I didn't even watch What If Season 2. It's one of the few MCU projects I haven't watched. It's going to take a lot, or What If Season 3, excuse me. I watched Season 2. Season 3 of What If, it's going to take a lot out of me to watch that one day, because I'm a completionist. I want to watch every MCU project. I'm behind on that, and I'm behind on Ironheart. I technically never saw every episode of She-Hulk. I skipped around a little bit, but everything else I've seen, to my knowledge. I guess technically I haven't seen Eyes of Wakanda, and I haven't finished X-Men 97, so now we're getting into the animated stuff. But yeah, it was all right. I mean, there were some cool moments for sure, but it's nothing that I'm dying to see. And by the way, thank you guys for the support. It's been an hour and 12 minutes. Stream's flying by. Hit that like button if you're in here. Help the stream get to 100 likes if it hasn't. And if you're on the replay, hit the like button as well. Super Chat's the way to go to guarantee I get your question, comment, concern. We'll probably go for at least 10 plus more minutes, I'd say. Having a fun time so far. Just keep the questions coming. Again, Super Chat is the way to go to guarantee I get right down to your question, comment, concern. Huge way to help support the channel. This one says, do you think each volume of Stranger Things 5 is going to end with a major death / cliffhanger? I just finished. I just find it strange they need 3 volumes for the season. So I think that the gap between Vol 1 and Vol 2 is probably going to be warranted. I think that's going to include a huge reveal, a revelation that, again, blows our minds, kind of like the end of the Massacre at Hawkins Lab. Then if you really think about it, the gap between Volume 2 and the finale is from December 25th to December 31st. At that point, that's just a weekly release. That's less than a week, right? I mean, it's like 6 days, I think, 6-7 days. That's nothing. At that point, it's just, hey, let's have the finale air on its own day. And that's not really a big issue to me. So I do think that really and truly there are 2 volumes. And there's just a bit of an extension between the finale and the episodes that come before it. So I'm not really concerned about it. I think that episode 4 is going to have a crazy cliffhanger. And then episode 7, the penultimate episode, will probably have something pretty insane happen as well. It's crazy that we're almost there. I mean, it felt like just yesterday I was on the To-Doom live stream, Wow, time flies. Time flies. Network 98 with another super chat. Thank you, man. Are you bothered when people change their opinions of a movie or show or song to match yours or another critic? I don't really care what other people think, honestly, about a movie or show. I think it's weird when the social media narrative is made up before a movie comes out because of a Rotten Tomatoes score. That's what I take issue with, when like Rotten Tomatoes score will drop for a movie like Avatar or whatever that's coming out. It'll be 100%. And it'll be like 13 reviews counted. And so everyone will be like, oh my gosh, Avatar Fire and Ash's Peak is the greatest movie of all time. And then everyone has preconceived notions about the movie. They go in biased to love it. And I feel similarly when it's the other way, when a movie is rotten, but it's like a divisive movie that a lot of people end up loving. I just don't like when there's a narrative made up about a movie, like a consensus about a movie on social media before it comes out. That frustrates me greatly. Opinions change over time after you see a movie or show. So, anyone can change their opinion. If someone comes out of a movie, likes the movie, and they go watch a review and they're like, oh, I agree with him now. I mean, yeah, it's opinions change. I mean, if you're just changing it so you don't say something different than someone, that's one thing. But if your eyes are opened by a certain point of view that someone shares, and then you go back and rewatch the movie and you feel differently, that's one thing as well. So I just don't like, my thing with online movie talk and criticism. I can't stand when there's this, well, the consensus is this. If you don't think this, you're wrong. It irritates me greatly, especially with Rotten Tomatoes mainly. Like, what was it? Something came out and it was like, oh, this is the greatest thing of all time. And that's every week, by the way. I've gotten really good at just not going on Twitter as much in terms of scrolling on the feed and seeing people's BS. It's really freeing. It's freeing. It is. I still go on Twitter, but I try not to scroll through the toxic debates about everything in the world. So, yeah. Bronson with a super chat. Thanks so much. What are top 3 least favorite Adam Sandler movies besides Jack and Jill? So honestly, I'm not a huge Adam Sandler fan. I have not seen enough of his filmography to maybe have even 3 movies that I put at the bottom. Let's go to the man's IMDb. I don't even know if I've seen that many, like, truly. I know that his stinkers, for the most part, people say, are like Little Nicky, like The Ridiculous Six, The Do-Over, Sandy Wexler. These are some of those Netflix movies he made. I feel like some of those I'd probably just throw down there. Hubie Halloween is one that I watched that's bad. Hubie Halloween's probably in the conversation for the worst Adam Sandler movie I've seen. That's probably the worst one. But I also avoided some of the like ones that people say are atrocious, like Jack and Jill, like all those Netflix movies I just rattled off. I'd say those Netflix movies probably feel the most soulless, and they're probably painfully unfunny. So I would say those are the worst. And I haven't even seen them, guys. I'm pretty confident in that. Sprite Zero break. Delicious. I have yet to watch K-pop Demon Hunters. I put out a poll gauging interest of people. But I've seen a lot of talk online about this movie. The poll I'm referring to is, I was like, would you guys want to see a review? And I got a response from people, but it's at this point, it's too late for me to review the movie, I'd say. But I may end up checking it out before the end of the year. We'll see. Do I think Stranger Things 5 will have the best episode of the show? I do. I certainly hope so. I'm a sucker for series finales when they're done right. I look at Breaking Bad. I look at Better Call Saul. I look at The Office even has a great finale. I think that if a series finale is great, you've got a winner on your hands. The top 5 highest grossing movies of 2017, for those wondering, were Jumanji, Despicable Me 3, Fate of the Furious, Beauty and the Beast, and Last Jedi. Well, there you go. What a weird mix of movies. Really strange. Strange lineup right there. I always forget about The Last Jedi. You guys know me. Michael, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for stopping, and thank you for the kind words. Thank you, guys. I appreciate everyone for hanging out in here as well. If you're live, if you're watching live, or if you're on the replay, thank you guys for tuning in. Zach D Films. Keep, burn, watch once. Jaws, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park. I don't care to answer this because I love all 3, but I know my answer. I know my answer. If we're talking Raiders, which I assume we are, I'm keeping that. That's my favorite of all time. I will then watch Jaws because I have to experience it, and then I'll burn Jurassic. Jurassic is the one of those three that I like the least, and I know that's kind of a hot take, but they're all 5 out of 5 movies to me, and so it's damn difficult to try and rank them. Bronson with another super chat. Thank you, Bronson. What are your top 3 favorite Robin Williams movies? This one's easier. This is a lot easier. Number 1 is Good Will Hunting. That movie is in my top 10. There was a point in time where it was in my Letterboxd top 4. If I ever feel down or need motivation in life, that's a movie I'll go to. It's not one I can watch all that much because I get emotional. But when I watch it, I'm like, this is special. So Good Will Hunting. Aladdin is another one for me. That's a premier Disney animated film. He gave an all-time voice acting performance as Genie. That is a good, I'd say a god tier animated movie in my opinion. So those easily occupy the top 2 spots for me. And now we're going to go to Robin Williams' filmography and make sure that I'm not forgetting anything before I answer this 3rd spot. Okay, I think I know my answer. I think I know my answer. And it's one of 2. It's not the classics you're thinking of from the 80s or 90s. It's not even Dead Poet Society, which I know is sacrilegious to some, which I have seen, by the way. You want my answer? My answer is, hold on, let me make sure I've got this right. My answer is, one second. I'm pretty sure it's this movie that I want to make sure I don't mess up. I'm pretty damn confident it's this movie. But hold on one second. I want to make sure I don't miss it. Hold on. Scrolling, looking. I will mention Insomnia. It's not one of my favorites, but it's just it's a darker role from him that he doesn't often do. So I'll mention that. That's not what it is. The movie I'm looking for, and the movie that I think comfortably takes the spot for me. There's 2. Damn, it's tough. I think I go Hook. I got to go Hook. Hook is a Spielberg film. It's adventurous. I have chills. There's one moment in the film when, Robin Williams plays Peter, and in the movie, there's a moment where he kind of snaps out and wakes up, and that childlike, innocence, the joy kind of stirs up inside of him, and then one of the characters is like, "It's really you," or something like that. There's a line, and it just gets me every time. Oh, great film. I'd say Hook, and then I think what's the final line? It's like, "To live, what a great adventure that would be." I have chills right now. Night at the Museum. That would also be there. But no, rip Robin Williams. I mean, truly one of the saddest, big celebrity deaths. I remember I was in 8th grade when that happened. And it was just like, man, it was so devastating that day at school. Karen with a super chat. Hey, Chris, do you remember when Netflix crashed when season 4 premiered? I think I do. Yeah, I remember that it was very laggy. So the funny thing about that is when season 4 premiered, I actually had scheduled a watch party for Obi-Wan Kenobi on the channel because I was going to watch those 2 episodes and then watch Stranger Things right after because I wanted to, because I was like, Stranger Things is dropping 7 episodes. So I'm fine to start a few, like an hour or 2 later on that because I can play catch up real quick. But with Obi-Wan, I was like, I don't want to get spoiled for that immediately because it was just the 2 episodes, if that makes any sense. And I made the mistake of watching that first in retrospect, obviously, but it's no big deal. Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to crash. Let's be honest. It's probably going to have technical difficulties when Volume 1 premieres, when Volume 2 premieres, certainly when the finale premieres. But hopefully they've got, their servers as good as can be when the time comes because, man, that's going to be monumental when those things drop. Monumental, Karen. But no, thank you for the super chat. What movie has the best score of all time? Genuinely, I would argue Oppenheimer. And I know that could be recency bias to some, but that's in the conversation for me. It's got to be in the conversation. Favorite Halloween candy from Bianca? Ooh. I love talking food. Thank you for this question, Bianca. It's making me get a sweet tooth right now. Reese's Pieces. Call me Will Byers. Yeah, Reese's Pieces all day. Call me Elliot from ET. I mean, it's my favorite. I love it. I love a whole bag of Reese's Pieces. It's gone. Now I'll tell you an underrated candy. That's not really a Halloween candy. It's just a candy. Pretzel M&M. If you haven't tried that, you got to try pretzel M&M. And then what else, Bianca? Let me think. I would say like a traditional Halloween candy. Can't go wrong with Sour Patch Kids. I have one, like usually Sour Patch Kids I get on my birthday. Cam gets me a thing because it's a tradition that I usually get that on my birthday. And then that's like the one time a year I really eat Sour Patch Kids, but I destroy them. And then like a traditional like mini candy you get. Ooh, again, Reese's Pieces is what my mind goes to, but the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, anything Reese's, I'm destroying. I'm destroying some Reese's. Phenomenal question, Bianca. Halloween's right around the corner, and I can't wait. I'm ready. I'm thrilled. Have I seen the new Hellfire, or have I seen the Hellfire Club shirts at Walmart? I have not. I got to go check out the stores. Are they putting out new merch already? Ooh, this is wild. I've been subscribed since a little before season 4 came out. That was 3 years ago. Appreciate the support over all these years. Thank you. Hunger Games, Harry Potter, Divergent, least favorite to favorite. Least favorite to favorite would be Divergent, Hunger Games, Harry Potter. So Harry Potter is my favorite. Divergent is my least favorite. But Divergent 1 is not bad. The others aren't that great. I never even saw the newest one. I know they got canned after that one. Favorite animated movie is The Lion King, or for The Lion King. It's The Lion King. Yeah. Pixar has 2 that I'm like, those are right there with it. But it's The Lion King. I've never seen Only Murders in the Building, but I've heard good things. I've heard of 1 Hour Photo. I think Chris Stuckman used to talk about this movie, but I never actually watched it. Gavin, another banger. Smartest Mission Impossible villain: Solomon Lane, August Walker, or Owen Davian? My gut. I'm kind of just hypnotized by Philip Seymour Hoffman's performance as Owen Davian, so I'm leaning Owen Davian. But at the same time, I think Solomon Lane might be the smartest in terms of like what he's technically able to pull off throughout. Yeah, I'd go Solomon Lane probably, but I mean they're all pretty smart in my opinion. August Walker, I'd put at the bottom, maybe. Hot take, maybe. Do I think Max will have powers? I don't. I think that if she like physically could be possessed by Vecna, but I don't think she, Max Mayfield, when she wakes up and she's in full control of her own body, I don't think she'll gain powers. You're going to the Upside Down. What 3 characters you're bringing with you and why? Phenomenal question. Love it. I'm taking Steve with me because Steve has experience kicking ass with Demogorgons, Demodogs, Demobats. So he's defense, right? So I've got Steve with me. I've also got to go Hopper in terms of just defense. He's taking out Demogorgons. He's a badass. And of course, I'm taking 11 with me as well because duh. I went the defense route there. I'm not here to have a good time. I'm here to kick some ass. And I'm here to survive. I'd go those 3. Honorable mention, Nancy. Better holiday, Halloween or Christmas. I've always had that soft spot for Christmas in my heart, but as I get older, I kind of warm up to Halloween more. I like both a lot. They're top 2 holidays, arguably. Is the podcast coming back? It's on hiatus right now. It may come back eventually, but it's not coming back soon. We've gone on many hiatuses with the podcast, but never say never. I hope we see Max and Lucas at the movies in the epilogue happily ever after. It would make my heart happy. If you have to watch one, Fire and Ash or Bone Temple, which one? Probably Bone Temple because it's shorter. I don't know, man. I imagine Bone Temple is going to be like an hour 40. Avatar is going to be like 3 hours and 40 minutes. So, I mean, I save a lot of time by going the Bone Temple route, right? Favorite Marvel superhero? Spider-Man. For sure, Spider-Man. Thoughts on the Long Walk? I have not seen it, but the trailers look intriguing. The marketing's been pretty solid as well. We'll probably take I'll probably take 1 or 2 more questions here and then wrap it up. If you got any you're dying to ask that you want to guarantee I get, super chat is the way to go. But in the meantime, hit the like button. If you guys are watching the replay, hit the like button. Damn fun stream. It always goes by fast. It's already 7:30 somehow. Let's see. I talked about this earlier, but I think Stranger Things season 5 should release on Netflix, and then like maybe the finale could go in theaters for like a limited run on the weekend, just to give people a chance to see that on a big screen. But I really want to experience that like at home for the first time. I feel just because I don't want people to ruin it. I'm nervous about going to the theater with people ruining the experience, especially for a show that I love so much. Can't be having that, you know. Yes, we certainly have to see the Enzo's date with Luke with Chopper. That's a must. They got to have that garlic bread or the breadsticks, some wine. They got to have a fun time. What I've gathered from Conjuring 4 reviews, it's the best from that director in Conjuring universe, but doesn't touch Conjuring 1 or 2. Yeah. That's kind of concerning, honestly. That's kind of concerning. Ugh. I don't know if I'm sold on going to see it. Are you going to see it, Jacob? You going to see it in theaters? Most unsatisfying death in Stranger Things 5. Well, we don't know who's going to die, but what would be the most unsatisfying would be Dustin. I think that would be the cruelest, the most cold-hearted of them all. Just wouldn't sit well with me. Achilles says, Stream 8 of asking for watch Super 8. I said I'd watch it. Maybe I have to watch Super 8 tonight. I'm on a Breaking Bad binge right now. All right, let's see. Super 8. Super 8. I need to get around to it then, though, huh? It's been 8 streams. That's dedication right there. 8 for Super 8. I may have to get on it. What do I think about animated Stranger Things? I think there's a whole world that's unexplored. They could do some really cool things there. With Tales from 85, especially, I'm hopeful for that show. The final question here is going to be favorite Stranger Things Funko Pop you have. Can you guys see up here? It's probably that Steve Pop right there. It's signed. It's signed in pink by Joe Keery. That's probably my favorite. But in terms of design, I'd have to really take a look. There's a lot of good ones over on my Stranger Things shrine that I'll have to showcase in a video at some point. But yeah, an hour and a half in the books. That's the stream, guys. Damn fun time. Thank you guys so much if you watched live, if you're here on the replay, if you sent a super chat, if you commented, liked, subscribed, if you just watched silently and enjoyed. Thank you all for being here. Your support truly does mean the world. I have a Wednesday Season 2 Part 2 review out right now. Go show that some love if you haven't. And I also have a ending explained short on the channel. I'm probably going to be doing a spoiler review of Wednesday Season 2 Part 2 tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. And I will be doing other Wednesday content, TBD, so just be on the lookout for all that. We might be getting some Stranger Things 5, big news soon. I'll be covering that, as always, here on the channel. But that'll do it for the stream. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And until next time, I will see you guys later, or dare I say, on the other side of the upside down.